Welcome to today's technical drawing class. Today we are going to look at interpenetration or intersection curve. The question says, the diagram below shows two intersecting cylinders of unequal diameter. Complete the given views and draw the interpenetration curve. So this is, we are going to first of to draw this, you are first of all going to draw these two things on our sheets of paper. So I'm first going to draw a baseline for reference. Okay. Then I'm going to start with the circle. The diameter of the circle is 70 millimeters. So using my compass, I'm going to extend to a radius of 35 millimeters. Then picking any point on this line, I'll put the compass and I'm going to draw a circle. Okay. So nextly, let me draw this rectangle first. Then let me draw this rectangle next. Given the distance from here to here was not given to us, so we're just going to pick any distance. So I'm just going to mark here as the start of the rectangle. The length of from here to here is the same thing as the diameter of this circle. So I'm going to draw a straight line and mark out 70 millimeters on it. So I'm going to mark 35 millimeters up and 35 millimeters down. From these 2 points, which are these 2 points, I'm going to draw two lines like this. The length of this line is 120 millimeters. Now I've joined the 2 points together. Okay. In the diagram, they said from this point in the middle line, on this midpoint line, they gave 20 millimeters, and then from here they drew this line. So I'm going to I'm going to measure 20 millimeters from this side. And then from here, I'm going to use my 45-degree set square and draw an angle and draw a line from this point like this. So yeah. Now from this point, we're going to use our 45-degree set square. Both sides are 45 degrees. This line is at 45 degrees to this line. So we're going to draw a line so that it will be at 45 degrees to this line using our 45-degree set square. The set square has this side and this side as 45 degrees. So I'm going to draw a line. So this line now is at 45 degrees to this line, which is what you can see here. The length of this line is 88 millimeters. So I'm going to measure 88 millimeters on this line. Okay. Now from this point, I'm going to draw a line through it using my set square. I'm going to position my ruler in such a way that my ruler will be parallel to this line. This means that the distance from here to here will be the same as the distance from here to here. If it's like this, the ruler is not parallel to this line because the distance from here to here is smaller than the distance from here to here. So I have to align it so that the two of them will look identical, they look the same. Then I'm going to put my set square on the ruler and then I'll draw a line. Now on this line, according to the drawing, they said the length of this line is 54 millimeters. 54 millimeters, that means 54 divided by 2 is 27. That's 27 here, 27 here. So this is point 1 and this is point 2. Now I'm going to draw the line from here to this point here. So that's like this. I'm going to draw the line from here and here. I'm going to use my 45-degree set square because these lines are at an angle. I also inclined at 45 degrees to this horizontal line. Okay, let me erase. The length of this line is 54 and I've also erased out the space in between this place. The next thing now is to draw this part here. From this point, we're going to draw a straight line this way, and from this point, we're going to draw a straight line this way. So this line, I'm not going to erase it because I'm going to use it later. I'm going to use it later. To draw this part here, I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to draw a straight line from here like this and from here like this. So using my ruler, I'm going to place it in a way that will be parallel to this line. To be parallel to this line. That means the distance from here to here is the same thing as the distance from here to here. And for this side, and for this point, I'm going to put my ruler in such a way that it will be parallel to this line. That means the distance from here to here is the same thing as the distance from here to here. To draw this line up, we're going to use our set square, and from this point, we're going to draw a line upwards. And then for the second one, I'm going to measure the length of this point. The length of from here to here is the same thing as the distance from here to here, which is 54 millimeters. So which means the length of this line is 54 millimeters. I'm going to measure 54 millimeters on this line, and I'm going to draw a line upwards. From this point, I'm going to draw a line upwards, but I'm not going to draw it inside the circle. I'm going to draw it from the circle outwards. I'm going to draw it outside the circle. Now I'm going to find the midpoint of this line. I'm going to draw a line so that I will touch this middle axis here. I'm going to find the middle of this line, and then I'm going to draw a line through it to touch this line. The half of 54 is 27. We need to measure 27 on the line. Then using my set square, I'm going to draw a line through it. Now to get this curve, this ellipse on top of this place, we are going to first of all draw a semicircle here and a semicircle here. So using my compass, I'm going to put it in the middle here. I'm going to extend it to the end. Then I'm going to draw a semicircle. I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Using my compass here, then I'm going to draw a semicircle. Now I'm going to divide these semicircles into 6 equal parts. So that means I'm going to put the I'm going to first put my compass at this point to mark. I'm going to put it in the middle, which is where this line comes into play. I'm going to mark here and mark here. And I'm going to put it over on this edge, and then I'm going to mark. The same thing I'm going to do it here. First of all, I'm going to put it on this edge. I'm going to mark an arc. I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to mark one here and mark the other here. And I'm going to put it at the end. And then mark an arc. Next, I'm going to label these points. Let me start from let me start from zero here. Zero, one, two, three, and then from three back to zero. Three, two, one, zero. On this side, I'm going to switch it the other way, and I'm going to start from three. Three, two, one, zero. And then from zero back to three. One, two, three. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw lines from these points downwards that they will cross through these points and touch the circle. So I'm first of all going to make my ruler parallel with this line, which means the distance from here to here is the same thing as the distance from here to here. Then I'm going to take my set square, and when it reaches one, I'm going to draw a line down to two again and one. I'm going to do the same for this side. I'm going to draw all these lines downwards like this so that they will come inside here. So using my 45-degree angle, because this line is at 45 degrees to this line, I'm going to use my 45-degree set square because this line is at 45 degrees to this line. So every line here I'm going to draw will be at 45 degrees to this line. Again, I'm first of all going to make my ruler parallel to this line. And I'm going to put my set square on top. And then when I reach 2, I'm going to draw. When I reach 1, I'm going to draw. When I reach 1 again, I'll draw. And then finally 2, I'll draw. Now where these points meet this line, we're going to send them as straight lines into this box here. So where 2 touches this line, I'm going to draw a line like this into this box. Where 1 touches this line, I'm going to draw a line into this box. Where 0 touches it, I'm going to draw a line into this box, and so on for the rest. So at this point, I'm going to draw a line into the box. At this point, I'm going to draw a line to the other box, into this box. At point 0, I'm going to draw a line into the box. At point 1, draw a line into the box. And finally at point 2, okay. Now from this 2, if I follow it like this and I trace it into this box, wherever I meet 2, I'm going to mark it. The same thing for 1, the same thing for 0, same thing for 1 and 2. Let me do it as an example. So where 3 enters the box and I meet 3, I'm going to mark it When I follow trace down 2 and I enter the box and I meet 2, I'm going to mark it. I also meet another 2, so I'm also going to mark it. When I trace 1 and it enters this box, I'm going to mark where I see 1. And then on the other side, I'm going to see another 1, so I'm going to mark that one. When 0 enters the box and I trace it, I'm going to see 0 here. I'm going to see 0 here. When I trace 1 into the box, I'm going to see 1 here. And I'm going to see 1 here. When I trace this other 2 into the box, I'm going to see 2 here. I'm going to see 2 here. And when I trace the final 3, I'm going to mark the last one here. So like this now, we have this ellipse that looks like this or somehow resembles the one in the drawing given to us. So we're going to use our French curves to draw it out. So as this is the ellipse given to us, and it's the view we are supposed to draw. The last thing to draw now is our interpenetration curve as the cylinder penetrates this part here. So let me complete the drawing. Let me complete this drawing. From this point here, I'm going to make it thick. From this other side, I'm going to make here thick. So this ellipse, this line, and then the circle is the full representation of this side view. The remaining thing now is the interpenetration curve. To draw the interpenetration curve, remember these lines we drew here before. Wherever they meet the arc of this circle, we're going to draw this line. We're going to draw them. We're going to draw straight lines from those points into this rectangle. So this no, this number 1 here, it touched the circle at this point. I'm going to draw a line inside here. 0 touch the circle at this point. I'm going to draw a line inside here. Number 2 touch the circle at this point. I'm going to draw the line inside here. So let's do that. So from this point, I'm drawing a line. drawing a line inside like this. From point one, I'll take it there. I'm drawing a line inside. From point two, take it there. Drawing a line inside. Point three, I'll take it there. Point three, when I touch the circle, I'll draw a line inside. This point two here, when it touches the circle, I'll draw a line inside. Point one, where it touches the circle, I'll draw a line inside. That's all. So we've gotten for 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and 0 again. Let me extend them completely so that they'll meet with these lines. Let me extend these lines completely so that they'll meet with these lines coming down. Uh, okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this number 3 line downwards. I'm going to extend this one to downwards. Okay. Then we start marking. So let's start from 0. There are two interpenetration curves. One that will look somehow like this, and then one that will look somehow like this. So let us start with the first one. That'll be from 3 to 0. At point 0, I'll trace the line, and when it meets 0, I'm going to mark it here. At point 1, I'll trace the line, and where I see 1, I'll mark it, and then another one, I'll mark it. At point 2, I'll trace the line, and where I see 2, I'll mark it, and then I'll mark it. Then at point 3, where I see 3, I'll mark it there, and I'll mark the second one there. So using my French curve, I can draw out this first curve of intersection. This is our first interpenetration curve. And for the second one, we're going to complete the rest. That's 2, 1, and 0. So I'm going to trace where 2 will meet. When I see it at this point and at this point, then for 1, if I trace the line, it is at this point and at this point. And then for 0, it is at this point here. And using our French curve again, we're going to trace out the second intersection curve. So this is the second intersection or interpenetration curve. So I'm going to thicken out the work from here. Um, okay, the next thing now is to dimension it. I've done There's videos have been done on this interpenetration problem and also on this development and many others. It has also been done on isometric, orthographic, and tangency. So do well to check out the channel and watch the videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching.